The claim that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India is also our claim, sir. There is no political divide on that proposition. It is the Congress Party's belief, and we are not challenging that. But the way you have pursued that claim with this bill, sir, is an affront to our very values as a democracy, as a nation, and has already done serious damage to our international standing and our credibility as a nation of laws, as a nation of democracy, and above all of the culture of decency, which was our culture in the way this has been carried out, that has also been betrayed. I can find myself on the legal side to saying simply that you have changed the basic constitutional relationship of the people of Jammu and Kashmir to the Republic of India without consulting them or their elected representatives. This is a breathtaking betrayal of our democracy and nothing short of legislative authoritarianism. By claiming that the concurrence of the state of Jammu and Kashmir has been obtained, and when it is under President's rule, and translating therefore state to mean the governor you have yourselves appointed, you have taken your own consent to amend the Constitution. Even if you can convince us that you're upholding the letter of the law, this action betrays the spirit of the Constitution. So I think many of us would like to see the Prime Minister also explain this decision of the government to this House, of which he is a member and to which he is accountable. We all remember the last time the PM unleashed a shock decision to the nation, which was also initially applauded for its decisiveness, just like today, and that was the disaster of demonetisation. The nation is still dealing with the devastating consequences of that action. I fear that you've inflicted upon us the political equivalent of demonetisation, where the short and medium-term damage will greatly outweigh the long-term theoretical benefits. We are proud to say Kashmiris are our fellow citizens, but I ask you, sir, look at a place where stores are closed, petrol pumps are closed, there is a shortage of fuel and essential supplies are beginning to run out. There's no communications available. People can't even watch television unless they have a satellite link, which very few rich ones have. Nearly 7 to 8 million citizens of our country are living in a near total blackout. Isn't this a betrayal of Vajpayee ji's famous formula of Insaniyat, Jumhuriyat and Kashmiriyat? Let me ask you, sir, when will Achhe Din come for the people of Kashmir? Oh, yes, yes. When they're locked up behind their own homes. Sir, the democratic parties and their leaders, you're opening up a space for undemocratic forces. You claim that we were winning the battle against terrorism, and perhaps we were, but now we're giving a fresh lease of life to the terrorists. And must say, we are facing a situation in which they can cite a new injustice for them to fight. You have made the mainstream pro-India parties irrelevant and powerless to stop extremism. That is the legacy that this decision is going to give our country. And when the Americans complete their withdrawal from Afghanistan and the Taliban, of course, their victory is complete, there will be a lot of idle Mujahideen and ISIS and Al-Qaeda ready to join Pakistan's efforts to attack our country. You have given them more excuses to seek help and money for their nefarious work. And if all it takes is for this government to declare President's rule and use their majority in this Parliament to make decisions for the legislatures of those states, are any of them safe? What has happened to our nation's respect for federalism, for minority rights? Can any Indian anywhere take his constitutional protections for granted? In the process, sir, we've also jeopardized, frankly, our claims to POK because that rested on the question of the accession of the whole state. And thanks to this decision, the whole state no longer exists. We are a great country, sir. We're a large-hearted country. Let us not be petty in dishonoring the carefully crafted arrangements that enshrine the state's accession to India. We used to be saying with pride that a Muslim-majority state is part of India despite partition. We have lost that, sir. We in the Nehruji has been demonized here, and he has been criticized by very many speakers, particularly those from the ruling party. It's very interesting. You know what he said on the subject, sir? He said, in the Lok Sabha in August 1952, exactly 6-7 years ago, he said, we fought the good fight about Kashmir on the field of battle and in many a chancellery of the world and in the United Nations. But above all, we have fought this fight in the hearts and minds of men and women of that state of Jammu and Kashmir. Because ultimately, he says, I say this with all deference to this Parliament, the decision will be made in the hearts and minds of the men and women of Kashmir, neither in this Parliament, nor in the United Nations, nor by anybody else, sir. The claims that have been largely made in this House by your party has also been that Sardar Patel, if he had been here, we would not have this problem. It's all Nehru's individual fault. I have to clarify that, sir. Nehruji did not do anything on his own. There were 3 accessions, as has been mentioned already, including by Dr. Jitendra Singh. There was Hyderabad, Junagadh, Kashmir. All 3 had to be treated by Nehruji and Sardar Patel together. 15th and 16th of October 1949, meetings took place with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah in the house of Sardar Patel. And Minister without portfolio who was looking after Kashmir, Shri N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, took detailed notes. He sent a summary of the notes of these conclusions to Sardar Patel with the following covering note: will you kindly let Jawaharlal ji know direct as to your approval of it? He will issue the letter to Sheikh Abdullah only after receiving your approval. That approval came, sir, on the 17th of October 1949 from Sardar Patel, and only then was 370 brought into the Constitution of India on 17 October 1949. So, this, finally, sir, is an assault on the Constitution, on the inclusive idea of India. It's an assault on the spirit of cooperative federalism. It's an assault on our democratic practices and an assault on the individual liberties of each and every one of our citizens from the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And therefore, sir, it is an attack on our own country's democracy and values.